Lonely moments. Lonely moments. Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne. I don't give advice, suggestions, information, recommendations. I just share with you my perspective on different topics, as is with this one. I hope you like, share, subscribe to all 5 of my channels. Links are pinned to the top of the comments section below. Lonely moments are often creative moments. Long before the internet and 400 channels, I was thinking about some people that I knew as I grew up. And a lot of them, especially women, spent a lot of time at home. You know, there weren't all these places to go or the money to go and do these things with, to have the money to be able to do it. So a lot of people stayed at home. And they had rabbit ears, and maybe they had 1 or 2 channels, and so they were limited as to how much television they got. Maybe they put on the radio. I mean, even think back in like the 1930s and 40s, they had radio. That was it. And so a lot of people stayed at home. They weren't out and about and constantly on the go, and everybody didn't have 2 jobs and the ability to get out and about the way people do today. And now with the situation in the world, a lot of people are kind of staying home a lot more. And there can be a feeling of being alone or being lonely. And I got to thinking about people that I grew up with. And none of them complained about being lonely. They were all creative people. I know one in particular, her husband had passed and she was home a lot by herself. Her son had graduated and he was gone. And so she would cook and she would paint or she would draw. And sometimes she'd talk on the phone late at night. She was a late night person who spent most of the time staying up until late at night or early in the next morning and then go to bed. She enjoyed being a late night person. And another person, she used to sit in her rocker chair, which was my grandma, and she would read her Bible and she would talk on the phone late at night, but she never complained of being lonely. She would crochet or embroider. She'd always be working with her hands. And so people back then, I never heard them complain about loneliness because they took that time and they were creative with it. They were cooking a good meal, even if it was for themselves. They were working on something, crocheting or knitting or whatever it happened to be. They were reading a good book. Like I said, they didn't have 400 channels to choose from, and maybe they only had a radio, but people didn't complain back then. I think now people put such demands upon themselves to go, that actually when they pull back and slow down, they feel a bit lonely because they're not used to it. It's a new feeling. I know for me, when I was raising my children and they were quite small, we didn't go out a lot because, especially in the wintertime, because getting 3 children ready and in their snowsuits was really something. And so I stayed home a lot. But I loved that time. I was never lonely. I had my 3 kids. I was enjoying them. That's when I really started to paint. That was when I became an artist. And the beginnings of my being an artist. And I would cook and I would homeschool and I'd play little games with them. I was never lonely. I loved that time. And I just think that people today are so afraid of being lonely that they go to such extremes now for entertainment purposes and being on the go and spending money. Back when I was growing up, people didn't have the money to go out all the time. They didn't have the ability, and there weren't even the places to go to. And so being lonely, it's what you do with it. If you're lonely, then for me, I get creative. I paint a painting, or I cook something, or I organize something, or make a video, or whatever. I'm never lonely. I'm creative. And that's what I learned from people growing up who could have used the term lonely. Instead, they used the term creative. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.